Hey everyone, it's Kaleem Caire here, Madison, Wisconsin. I decided to go do this Facebook Live because just in a very short period of time, people are reacting to the piece that I wrote on Facebook about the UW, University of Wisconsin, needing a black athletic director. And all kinds of people are dreaming up why I wrote this. So I'm going to tell you exactly why I wrote it because I don't want to leave anyone in doubt. I've heard three things today from multiple people who are totally out to lunch when they are considering why I did this. Some say I'm lobbying for specific candidates. Absolutely not. I haven't conspired with anybody. I don't need to do that. I can speak for myself. Number two, that I have a bone to pick with the university. Absolutely wrong. I have supported this university and everyone in leadership there who's been in leadership in that university for the last 20, 25 years knows that. They could never say that about me. I've supported them a lot more than a lot of people have. Oftentimes, people don't feel they deserve it. And third, that I have a bone to pick somehow with Barry Alvarez and the athletic department. I don't know Barry Alvarez. I've met Barry Alvarez 2 times. Pleasant conversations with him. Well, actually, probably 3 or 4, but pleasant conversations with him. I admire what he's done for the university, for lifting the university's visibility nationwide. You know, football, basketball, those 2 sports do that. That's why schools put so much energy and time into and money into those 2 sports. They also generate significant revenue for the university and for honestly the state of Wisconsin. That's why they're trying to bring football back, y'all. It's not just about people thinking that football is important. It's a big revenue generator, and all types of businesses rely on those weekend sales that football generates. But the reason I did this, you guys, was very simple. I'm honestly just straight up tired of white people, and particularly white men when it comes to sports in this town, getting everything. I had heard a year ago that Barry was considering this might be his last contract. And, I know a lot of people, and I know people that know him. And so I took credibility. I said, okay, all right, done a great job. Nothing against him. This is not about him. But who's coming next? Because in the last time that they did this, when Barry was given the athletic director job, I remember black candidates who were being considered for that job. And I remember how none of us heard about what happened. Well, I do. And I'm not going to go into that. But we often get passed over for opportunities, especially when you think about how the athletic department does its hiring, particularly for the athletic director. Now, ultimately, I believe the chancellor of the university makes the decision on who the athletic director is. But when I heard that this might be a very quiet process, because that's how the athletic department does things, that's what really that's what alarmed me. Because I said, okay, this is a big position in our community, big visibility in our state. We have a number of African Americans nationwide and Latinos and others, but I'm talking about black folks because we play a lot of football, nationwide, who should be eligible to be considered for this job. But we do not get jobs, people, 9 times out of 10 when processes are private. So part of this is to put pressure on the university. I'm just being honest with you, to have an open process for hiring the next athletic director. No more of this private behind the scenes stuff, because what happens is donors to the university have a tremendous amount of influence over that decision. Tremendous amount of influence over that decision. You and I'll be sitting there on the outside looking in, wondering who's considered? Wait, who's in the interview process? That's exactly where we're going to be. And that job, the university, the amount of money the athletic department generates and the visibility they generate It's a crime that they don't do enough to help support any major community initiatives in this city. I have been critical of that athletic department for that purpose since I was a student. If you go back and read some of the student newspapers, you'll see me saying that. So this is not about me trying to support some particular candidate or trying to go after Barry Alvarez or a bone just to pick with the university, which I've supported for years. This particular job has always gone to a white male. It's always been a country club job. And every last one of them in the athletic department, black, white, or otherwise, know that. Now, UW has hired black coaches. It's not the issue. But when it comes to hiring people for the top jobs, head coaches and athletic directors, we 99% of the time get passed over for those jobs. We've had a few, but we get passed over, and I'm tired of it. The University of Wisconsin is making buttloads of money from us, young people growing up in neighborhoods, playing sports, because we idolize young other people who look like us in sports, and we work our tails off, and we have great coaches locally, and we do what we can, and we end up on university campuses like this, and guess what? Only time you see black players, if you're not on campus, is if you're just watching them on television. I didn't grow up like that here in Madison. I do not like the fact that our black players are isolated from the rest of the community as though somehow we're a problem. They'll say, oh, it's NCAA. I don't give a crap. Then the NCAA needs to change. One of the reasons why I did well in sports and why I persisted in school is because I knew Larry Emery. I wrote down these lists. They hung out in the neighborhood. My best friend Glenn Parks' mom and dad, Ben Parks and Margaret Parks, were his Badger buddy. They were a couple, black couple, who looked after the black players in the community. And he would come over to their house at least once a month, and he would eat dinner with them, and we got to know Larry. And he became a mentor to us. He spent a lot of time with us, and we were inspired by his athletic pursuits, but we were more inspired by that young man's intelligence. He was brilliant. Nate Odoms, Tim Jordan, who's local, and Danny Johnson, who's local. I grew up knowing Danny and Tim. Know their families. Tony Lowery, who's a football coach, who was a football player, a quarterback at the university, not much older than me, but first black quarterback that I knew of, I believe, at the university. Rodney Tapp, who I still love this brother. He played basketball. He always played basketball with us, and he'd tell you, he would laugh at us because we'd go around the bank at Park Bank when he started working there right after basketball, because we knew him. Robert Hackett. I wanted to be like Robert Hackett. He was the fastest dude I'd ever seen in my life. Him and Sean Peters back in the 80s running track and field. But we knew them because they got to hang out in our neighborhood. They got to know us. But also, we got to hear how tough it was for them to be black players at an all-white university that did more then to get them out in the community than these players get a chance to get out here now. So a black athletic director could change that. A black athletic director could position our black players as role models in our community to give our young people to aspire to be, and get to know them with whatever context of the NCAA limitations. They could do that. But this athletic department hasn't done that. They might go to a Boys and Girls Club event every now and then, but it's the individual players that will try to get out there and do some things now on their own. But these people have shielded our young people from our community, and I don't appreciate that. I want a black athletic director that won't do that. I also want a black athletic director that's going to hire black coaches that are going to stay. I want a black athletic director who's going to hire other coaches of color, Latino, et cetera, who's going to give them opportunities to break through. And, they have facilities. They manage huge facilities. They have a whole lot goes into an athletic department. There's all kinds of jobs. I want to see our people, a more diverse group of people in those jobs. And I believe a black athletic director would do that. Look at the candidates that they have now, or people who are considered. I don't know any of those people, and I looked at them and saw and wondered who is really involved in the community who's up there right now. Can't think of any. Barry doesn't step out of the kingdom, y'all. You don't see him at many community activities. If it is, it's not our stuff. And again, great athletic director, but I want someone who's going to actually be present in our community. These people generate millions of dollars for football every game. You can't tell me they can't add a $5 surcharge and give people opportunity to choice to make some donations to the community when you got 83,000 fans and say 60% of them decided to give. You're talking 300,000 more dollars that could go to this community every game to support things in our community or support those players who a lot of them come from poor families. A black athletic director can think like that because we haven't seen that yet. So I want people to understand why I did this, because I'm expecting more out of our university. And lastly, this university they are truly effective at hiring white people. They are exceptionally effective at practicing affirmative action for white people. But it's funny when we start pushing for a black candidate, could be anybody or just a black person, all the reverse racism bullshit comes out. But it doesn't come out of them when they're watching scores and scores and scores and scores of white people get jobs. And when we get put forward, the question is, are they qualified? Are they going to be qualified? Are we going for the highest qualified person? They don't ask that when it's a white person being considered for a job. Why not, my friends who asked this question on my Facebook page? Why not? Why don't you do that? Because in your mind, you believe that white people are somehow superior to us, which is why they continue to get these jobs over us. It's in your mindset. Otherwise, you wouldn't ask me a stupid question like that. Because if you just looked around, you'd see that there are a lot of black people in administrations all over sports. Just not many of us get the top job. So I want University of Wisconsin, my alma mater, which I still love and respect, and its leadership to be bigger than the foundation that has been laid before them. Seriously, be bigger than that. I want them to make a choice and a decision to have an open process so that black candidates and whoever else wants to apply can apply for a job and then hopefully choose a black candidate. Hopefully. But I'm not advocating for a specific candidate. I want your open process. So I hope you guys will join me in this, because we're going to need a lot of people pushing, and I'm making this my mission. I told people I turned 49 years old this year. I'm going to be 50 next year. I don't care what people think about what I'm saying. I want fairness. I want justice. I want equality, and I want it now. My people have given too much. We built this country, and we're still begging for opportunity. This country was built on our backs for free, and we have never gotten paid or compensated fairly for what we gave to this country. We have never gotten it. And all people are like, oh, affirmative action programs. Tell me how much, what this country's done for us, what they've given to us. Welfare wasn't it, y'all. Welfare wasn't it. Welfare destroyed our communities in many ways. What has America done since the Civil Rights Act of 1964 to help move us forward from the crap we lived with for 350 years before that? What'd they do? I want you to tell me, because last I checked, the Kerner Commission that President Lyndon B. Johnson initiated in 1968 found that a report came out in 68 found that the number one reason for black suffering in America was white racism. And that was a bunch of white folks that made that decision, but it got swept under the rug. It's a presidential commission. So I'm not allowing the legacy of discrimination, disenfranchisement, lack of opportunity, and those opportunity gaps we keep falling and living in to prevail in this situation. And I'll be loud about it, and I hope you guys are loud about it with me. That's a great job. Yeah, there's other jobs, there's other CEOs and people like that in this community. Look around, open up In Business Magazine. I want you to go to the grocery store, open up In Business Magazine, and see what your community's leadership in business and money making looks like. And then you won't be able to say jack to me, because this community is excellent at hiring white people and practicing affirmative action for white people in jobs, significant jobs in this city. Take the top 10 companies in this city. Many of them support our community efforts. Many of them have supported me. Look at their top leadership teams and tell me what you see. There's a few who are starting to make changes, but look at what you see. That's why I'm saying this to you, because we have to stop that craziness from limited opportunity for us, because our children are watching. And they're looking at us and they're looking at the doors we're able to open for them. And they're looking at the reflection of the people who are sitting in those rooms right now. And they do not look like them. They look like the white guys and honestly the white women who keep getting these opportunities over us. So there you have it. Y'all can think what you want. I'm tired of inequality. I'm tired of looking at the outside looking in. I'm tired of working 10 times harder to get half as far. Seriously, that stuff's over, y'all. And I hope y'all make the same decision that I've made. Speak up about this, put pressure, don't care what they think. Make the process open for this upcoming athletic director search. If there is going to be one, Barry's contract's up in January.
Could you try again?
Look at Siri's even speaking. I'll talk to you later.